Love is a many splendor thing. True love. Hey, people. I'll wait till somebody comes in. Talking about love. Hey, Princess A. Well, I see that the Kanye West story goes on, right? So now Kanye has come online to apologize to his wife in the same way he dispersed her last week, publicly. Everything, I guess, has to be public. But I have to wonder. Now, I'm not saying that the brother, it's not his fault that he has bipolar, but I'm just starting to question why did she marry him? I don't understand that. Now, I'm not a woman. If I were your woman and you were my man, you'd have no other woman. You'd be meek as a lamb. If you had the strength to walk out that door, my heart will overrule my sense, and I call you back for more. If I was your woman, I ain't got no desire to be a woman. Hey, people. Hey, how are y'all doing this Sunday? I don't know. I kind of put off talking like this because I don't want to feel like I'm, kind of, jumping on that brother or judging him or anything like that. But, I mean, they must have really been in love. She's been married to him for 6 years. They had 4 babies in 6 years. So I'm just trying to think. Now, if I were a woman, and I know that the guy that I had fallen in love with, if I knew he was bipolar, it's been pretty obvious that Kanye West has had these problems. I guess going back, I guess he had them his whole life. I guess it's something you're born with. But she had to know what she was getting into. And so far, we've seen this people as being brilliant people, these Kardashians. And I'm trying to think, why would an intelligent woman, a thinking woman, an educated woman, a rich woman, get involved with somebody like Kanye West? And then knowing, I mean, you're not supposed to have kids or anything like that, but I'm saying you're going to marry a bipolar man who's got, at sometimes, like severe bipolar, and you're going to risk, isn't there a risk bringing that onto your children? I mean, I'm not talking about kids, anything like that. I'm not criticizing children. I'm not criticizing anything about their family. I'm just saying, would you marry a bipolar man and have 4 children immediately with this person, knowing that he is bipolar and seeing his actions? Would you want that for your children? I mean, is it passable? I could be wrong. Maybe bipolar, like cancer, is not something that you pass on, right? I guess some cancers, they'll show up later on in life in families, things like that. But some things are not passed on. They're not heretical. So maybe she researched all that to see if it was safe to have a family with this man. But it seems to be falling apart. But that's not surprising because almost all of these Hollywood relationships, when I say Hollywood, I mean show business relationships, kind of fall apart at some point, right? But why do they rush into having all those children? It seems risky to me. What do you guys think? Would you do that? I mean, aren't you considered I guess some people ordinarily, somebody marries a rapper, he's successful, he's got a lot of money, whatever, you'll say, well, they go chasing. They have a reason for doing this, right? They have babies because they know that, well, he's got to take care of the kids, so I'll be set for the next 20 years. All that kind of stuff, right? None of this applies with that relationship, right? She gains nothing by being married to him because she was a wealthy woman herself, right? So I'm just curious, is it because they were so lost in passion and love that she said it's worth taking a chance? I don't know. Let me shut up for a minute. Hey guys, hi you guys. Princess Rainbow, Almond Brown. Hi, Almond. F this, I'm here. Oh, your name is F this? Lord have mercy. F this, you got to get a different name. We love you here in Harlem. Hey, Harlem. It's nice to touch Harlem. I love New York City, honey. If I ever visit anywhere else before I go on to glory, it'll be New York City. New York or London. I wouldn't mind going to London either. Okay, so I'm only talking about Kanye because that seems to be a trending story for the last couple of weeks or whatever. And of course, he's apologizing. Of course, you didn't had a mental break, of course, for the whole world to see. And this thing is not new. So I'm just saying, I had a very good friend who was bipolar, right? A nice guy, nice, friendly guy, right? But then as we started hanging out more, and I saw a couple of these incidents that he would have going off, screaming at people, and I just know that the relationship was not tenable because it is a commitment to be involved with a person, even though this was just a friend, to be involved closely with a person because you're going to have to deal with all of the behavior. So I'm just wondering, why would you make a decision like that? You're supposed to be a brilliant, wealthy, smart, beautiful woman. My only answer could be they must have been so much in love that it didn't matter at that time. I would be concerned about what kind of family I would have. I wouldn't want to have. Oh, let me shut up. You guys talk for a minute. Speaking the truth. Well, I guess we all kind of wonder. Their kids are not going to see something like this, but she's got 4 children with that man in 6 years. That means since she got with him, she's been pregnant. 4 kids in 6 years. So they just plan to have a whole lot of babies. But I'm just wondering about the sanity of that, knowing what you know of the sperm. I can't. Tim, you turn to a little girl just now. What you saying? Okay. Tim, you turned into a little girl just now when you sang. Well, maybe that's my feminine side shining through, honey. Who sang that song anyway? Let me say it again so you don't like it. If I was your woman and you were my man. The gay people had to sing them songs to themselves when they were cheering. High school students, they knowing they would love to sing that song to somebody. Keep it on the down low, but you would replace yourself in the song and not always as the male figure. Yeah, it could be the stress of his albums coming out. I mean, I don't think anybody seriously took that presidential stuff very seriously. But the question is, did he? It's a struggle. But I just can't imagine choosing to be married to a person with that particular struggle. It's got to be hard. I mean, did she just need to have children? Women are, if I'm talking stupid, let me know, but they're kind of on a time clock, right? If you're a woman and your dream is to have a big, beautiful family and you're starting to approach 30 or you're in your mid-20s, I mean, you kind of have to make a decision because the time is going to come very soon when you're not going to be able to have these children. So what was Kim knowing what Hollywood show business relationships are, you have to consider the fact that they won't last forever, right? But why would you have that many children so close together like that? I mean, just boom, 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 boom. With a man is bipolar. And we don't know what the other issues are, but they're certainly coming to front more and more regularly. I don't know. I think because a lot of these, I'm just talking people. A lot of these women, they do have to consider if they do not have a husband, they are not married, they are not in a relationship, and they are starting to get close to 30 years old. If they're going to have a relationship, if they're going to have children, they got to do it right now. Particularly if she wanted a big family, right? But what kind of sentence is that for the children? I mean, are they going to struggle their whole life with the same thing? Or maybe she considers the thing manageable. I don't know. I strongly suspect, though, a lot of women have children, even though they know they're not going to be with the. Well, that's why we got all these baby daddies and all this shit. Because you're kind of on a time restraint. How long can a woman have a baby? You guys tell me. Is it like 35 or something like that? Is the norm? I mean, I know there are exceptions. But you're most fertile. Is that the right word? In your 20s. So it might have been she felt like she was running out of time, and if she's gonna have children, she needs to have them right now. I don't think finances is any issue at all. I mean, he's a rapper. I don't know how much money he makes now, but nothing that would be all that impressive for her. So Queen Black, Enchantress. So you don't believe that the outbreaks are real? He's probably be capable of coming up with publicity stunts and so forth. I mean, his whole president thing, but it could still be manic when he's manic that he's making all these crazy decisions. I used to walk with my friend into a store, right? And so I'll walk away to get what I had to get. When I come back, the whole cart is full of stuff. He just went insane buying stuff. I said, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? You already got one of those. But part of his manic disorder was he would just go shopping manically, buying things, everything. I don't know. Coco T says she wanted more money and fame. Is that rap money? Is that really money though? I don't know about that, because they are a family who's always kind of, I wouldn't say obsessed with money, but they've always been very successful. She has the television show and she has all these products and all this kind of stuff. I think she has her own money. I think the family have their own money. It wasn't like that. But for some reason, they do like black men. Now, we can't get around that. I don't know how many. I've never seen an episode of their show. I don't know anything about our Kardashians other than what comes over social media. Same thing with him. I don't think I've ever heard a Kanye West record. So I don't see them as I don't know. I don't follow their careers very much, but I can follow the money just by what I'm exposed to, right? It doesn't seem like she has any strong. She has to marry a rapper to get money. I don't see that at all. A lot of that rapper money, a lot of those guys ain't gonna have no money. You stop making records, you stop making money, honey. Because you can rap doesn't mean you some kind of business whiz. Just like with athletes. You know how many of them athletes, they got $24 million contracts and 50 million contract over 3 years, stuff like that. They got these great big old contracts, right? And then when they stop playing, 5 years later, they're broke. They're not educated in finance or anything like that. They just got a lot of money. So I don't count that rap money as being in any long lasting thing. Of course, there are breakout people. You know, there's always Puff Daddy and there's Jay-Z but those people are rare. Most of those guys are not gonna have, and most of them guys don't even have the money like we think they do. All that diamonds and $50,000 rings and all this kind of stuff. Most of the stuff is either fake or rented. They're rented to make videos with. Everybody's not driving around in Maseratis and Ferraris. And the ones who are driving around in Maseratis, Ferraris, and all this kind of stuff, they're probably not very good money handlers. So with all his disabilities, I doubt that he's some kind of financial wizard. They probably help him more with finances than he helps them. And as far as advising him on how to spend his money, how to invest his money. They are lawyers, right? Greetings from Atlanta, Genuine Heart. Greetings from San Francisco, Genuine Heart. Trying to be like Beyonce and Jay-Z. This man has got serious mental illness. If he's a financial wizard, we need to start seeing it. If he is a producer, if he can produce other talent he can live on. But just being a rapper, I just don't see it. It's been no long range wealth. Now, if you can produce other people, if you can make records with other people, younger people, as they come up, then perhaps you can build an empire. I would imagine running an empire is kind of difficult when you come into work manic and just start signing everybody. Okay, Uranus. She said she married him for more money, and she had his children for hefty child support checks. I guess it's a possibility. I don't see him as being having that kind of wealth, though. Not where a Kardashian would have married him for that. If a Kardashian was going to marry somebody, they would marry a multi-millionaire, like a billionaire kind of guy. I could see that. She's a very beautiful woman. I'm not saying he's not a bad-looking guy or anything, but just looking at Kanye West, you can see that this man has got issues, honey. He's got issues. He runs up on the stage to take somebody else's a Grammy and give it to somebody who he thinks deserves it. He took it from that white girl. What's her name? Whatever, and gave it to Beyonce because he said Beyonce was more deserving. Honey, that's manic behavior. People don't do that. Never in the history of the damn Grammys has that ever happened. So she has to know this is before the marriage, right? Because it's only 60 years ago. Oh, my goodness. Who is this? Thank you, Connie Bernard, for the super chat. I'll pass the playlist and let it ride. Thank you, Connie. Yes. Yes, my playlist there is very interesting. I even get tickled myself when I watch that. Thank you, honey. I appreciate it. Let me see. Is there... Okay, some people know about this stuff. Some people work in mental health. Surrogate births for all except first baby. What? Okay. Behind the throne. Behind the throne, you usually have a lot of good information. She said surrogate birth for all except the first baby. So surrogate birth. Now would that be still his sperm implanted in another woman in a surrogate? Because I noticed she has been slim all these years. So tell us more, behind the throne. Because a surrogate birth means that someone else carries a child, but it's still his child. So it'd be still his DNA that she's carrying, right? So her DNA is not even in question, right? So I think they put both of them. Isn't it her eggs and his sperm implanted in another woman? Isn't that the surrogate? So the surrogate wouldn't really make a difference because it's not the surrogate's DNA. We're just concerned with, are these things transmittable in your DNA? So the same issues the father had, what the children have. That's the concern. Surrogate birth. Okay. Yeah, I believe that the surrogate, you're not using her eggs. Or maybe sometimes you use the woman's eggs and then the donor sperm. I thought he went broke. More than likely. Child, you got to be making records. And now what the way the music industry is, you got to be traveling. You got to be performing to make any money. So I don't know if he would be going and doing gospel thing if he was still popping in the R&B. You know, remember last year he became was it televangelist or whatever, where he was going around making gospel album and going around to all his churches and stuff like that. Gospel does not sell like hip hop. It never will. Okay, Uranus says, Timothy, please research Kanye and Kim and revisit this topic. Well, that would make sense, but there's so much, honey. I try to research. I try to have some idea of what I'm talking about when I'm talking, right? Mine is just an opinion, but there's too much. There's too much history there. You see, it's different if you care about the people. If you are a great Kanye West fan, right, then you will be very interested in the story. Or if you were a big the Kardashians fan, you would be much more knowledgeable of the story because you will be following them for years, right? You will be following the story of Kanye. For me to sit here as just a YouTuber and go and try to trace their whole relationship, it's just not going to happen, honey. I'm just going with headlines. And this particular subject is just something I've always worried about having a children with a person who is bipolar, who is distinctly bipolar, and you know it before you go into a relationship with him, and they go and have that many children. So that's the question. No, I don't know all the details of reality stars or rappers. I mean, I'm not a fan of either one. Okay, so I know some people will say we just speak on it. Yes, I mean that's what we do. It's just a conversation, honey. It's just a conversation. Most of them will have a time where they are broke. And we all know all the stories about the music industry, right? When has anybody ever told a story about the music industry where they didn't get ripped off? The artist didn't get ripped off. At some point, the artist is always getting ripped off. It's the producers and the record companies who end up making most of the money. So we can't assume because a person is a rapper. I remember I was a big fan of David Bowie. Don't judge me. Back in the early 80s, whatever. Like in 79, 80, David Bowie, he was popping, right? They had the billboards on Sunset Boulevard, and he had 2 or 3 hits, Young Americans and Fame and all this stuff. And he was absolutely broke. He had no money. He was being charged for all the things that went into making a tour for him. They charged that to him, even though the record company inevitably would be making the money from selling the records. So we can't assume. I've heard this story over and over and over and over and over again about these people who are in entertainment who we think are rich, but are actually broke, and they owe them. I was able to, in my book series, one of the characters that I created in there is a record producer. He's a record producer of gospel music, whatever. So I was able to play around with when I was researching that with producers and how the money game works and how the music business works, right? So anyway, I found it very interesting at one point. But more of the money is made by people who are producing these people. Don't assume somebody's rich because you saw him in a video, you know, putting money all over him and diamonds all over him and naked women around him. They all got the same thing, it seems like, and these cars and all this stuff. More than likely, if they're showing you 6 Ferraris in the damn video, he don't own those. I mean, I feel for the dude. It's not his fault that he has a mental illness. It's not his fault that he would desire children, I guess. But it seems like to me the point was to have all these kids. So I'm just questioning her judgment. She gave birth to Saint. So is Saint the first one? As far as a surrogate or her giving the birth, from my understanding, it wouldn't make any difference who the surrogate was, right? Because it's not the surrogate's sperm or eggs. Don't they implant them in the woman and she just carries the baby? You guys know more than I do. I'm not a woman. Anyway. I was discussing the whole. Oh my goodness. Barack. Well, I ain't gonna say that, Barack. Are we discussing the person? Okay. His sperm and her egg implanted. That's what I thought for a surrogate. So it would still be his DNA and her DNA. The question is the DNA and what's being carried in the DNA. I imagine there are some people here that understand what is heretical. Some things are heretical. Some people say that alcoholism is heretical. Right? My father was alcoholic. Well, it could be just because you just learned the behavior of your father. And it could be that you just are genetically predisposed to alcoholism or addiction. I can honestly say this is L. I can honestly say he's done and said things that are almost unforgivable. And as a result, I stopped giving him attention. But I'd be remiss to say he deserves all this. I feel like they all failed him. Yeah. It's a disease you got to carry your whole life. I mean, nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. But if I was about to have all them kids, I would certainly consider everything about the person who I was having kids with. It's not a judgment. It's just, to me, it's practical. It makes practical sense. Now, maybe they were just so madly in love. You know how if you're in love with somebody, you're so passionate, nothing makes any damn sense, you know. But I don't know how much even relationship they have. If he's traveling, he's in Wyoming on a ranch, and she's somewhere else, and she can't come to the ranch, which is the last thing I heard. Apparently, they have they have other residences and so forth. How much time are they actually spending as a couple? This thing happens in these Hollywood relationships or these show business relationships anyway, because they're all so busy. They're all doing other things. They don't have time to be at home. It's not like Isaac and Harriet, honey. The man, the woman, the children, they're all in the same house. It's not like that if you're in one of these show business relationships. Anyway, under the best of conditions. Okay, see, you guys have been followed, I can tell. Well, you know the names and everything. Let me see. Where I was just somewhere when Kanye's cool until Kanye was cool until he lost his mom. Well, baby, I think, Monique, that this bipolar thing is not caused by a tragedy, an incident. This is something he's had to work with forever. His face is even contorted. Kanye West doesn't look normal to me. He's always got kind of a, I don't know, I don't want to feel like I'm making fun of him, so I don't want to try to make the face or whatever. But he's always had issues. It's very obvious just to even look at him. And I'm sure that when he's not manic, he's probably a great guy. He would have to. He didn't seduce this damn woman and she didn't fell in love with him and married him. Maybe it's gotten worse since they did get hooked up, though. Once he got with Tim, it was all downhill. Well, maybe Kim was a kind of a mom for him. Apparently, they were very close. His mom died of she had plastic surgery or something. But maybe he was looking for a woman to take her place. It's not unusual. A lot of guys marry women who remind them of their mothers. Apparently, he doesn't get along that well with the mother either. In Psalms, it's North, Saint, Chicago, the Psalm. You know all the names, Lauren. North, Saint, Chicago, and Psalms. Those are the names of the children. I hope it's okay. We even discussing the children, but people are so sensitive these days. You got to watch everything you do. She gave birth to North and Saint. The other two are surrogate. Okay. Mo, that's why most of these celebrities go out and get endorsements. And I'm curious about something. In the African American community, we have this phenomenon of baby daddies and baby mamas, right? So I'm curious as to, are some of these women, and you guys can answer it, I know most of you are women, are some of these women having babies even though they know the man is not going to be there, or he's not ever going to marry them or whatever, just because at some point they can't have children anymore, that they want the children? I'm curious. That would certainly be something I would consider if I was able to have children, right? They just have whatever. I'm bound to say something stupid. They use surrogate for 1 or 2 kids, if I'm not mistaken. The surrogate is just the carrier or vessel, if you will. Okay, the baby's DNA is from the 2 parents, not the surrogate. That's my understanding, totally. And even if the woman did have fertile eggs, the surrogate, it would still be the man's sperm, I would assume, if she's carrying their baby. I think most of the time it's both of them, the mother and the father, and the woman just carries the baby. She's younger, she's healthier. He sacrificed his mom? How come Rihanna, I heard her name now. That damn Empire. What was the girl name in Empire? They took that character, looked like her, sound like her, and they named her, it wasn't Rihanna, it was Brianna or something on Empire. But that person's name was ringing all the time then, even when she was involved with Chris Brown and that abuse thing. But then She's hardly invisible on social media, unless I'm just watching the wrong social media. Rihanna. It seems to me they ought to maintain a presence. This is the modern day kind of entertainment life. You got to keep her name alive. Okay, Rihanna didn't make 600 million from her music. She made most of it from Fenty. Okay, who's Fenty? Fenty. Fenty is a designer. $600 million. And people, when they give you these huge numbers, oh, they worth all these millions of dollars. They made $600 million. They ain't telling you that there were 200 people on the payroll. So even though they give the credit, the celebrity made all this money, that doesn't mean they kept all this money. You know, there's several homes, you know, whatever. They don't keep all that money. They got hairdressers. They got makeup artists. They got all the grips. They got all the people who moved the stuff from one town to another. They got all the drivers to move all this stuff from one town to another. They got managers who get huge percentage, and a lot of times they rip them off. There's all kind of people involved in that $600 million, honey. Right? She's worth $600 million, but the minus the expenses of $550 million. I mean, that's the way any business is run. Any business is run. If Safeway made $100 million next door here, they still got to pay those 300 people out of it. The room art is so great. Oh, you like my bedroom? Yeah, I made a little video, a little house apartment video. So silly though, because people who live where you guys live all over the United States, people have big, beautiful homes and so forth. I just like the decorating aspect, but it's still a tiny little apartment. But it doesn't make a difference what size your house is, because each room is to be judged on the merits of that room. So it's still the same basic issue, except you ain't got 5 extra bedrooms. Anyway, I find this stuff fascinating. I watch people's videos all the time, their apartment. Just curious how people live. Happy Sunday, Miss Thang. How you doing, Miss Thang? Fenty. What is Fenty? Is that a designer? Kim, okay, behind the throne. Kim and her sisters have no talent. They're reality stars. They don't need any. May, the one that models, and that won't last forever. No, modeling is just a temporary thing. It's like dancing. Someone has to support their lifestyles. Yeah, I think, but don't they own their show? Are there all these damn things, shows they have? They're very right people. Y'all remember that the first Kardashian we met was on the O.J. Simpson trial. Wasn't their father the Kardashian? So he was already a successful man. They got into this reality stuff relatively, you know, I don't know, maybe the last 10 years. I've never watched an episode of it, though. I've never been curious because I always feel like I don't know anything about these people. You know, if you're gonna watch one of those reality shows, for me, you got to catch it from the beginning, so at least you know what the hell's going on. They don't ever hold my interest to just shopping and stuff. But that's not to say anything wrong with reality TV. Fenty is Rihanna's last name. So what are you guys saying? She made her money from Fenty? Makeup line. Okay, Fenty is Rihanna's makeup line. Y'all all got a different idea of what Fenty is. Fendi. Okay. You're very neat, Mr. Blaine. Okay. Fendi. Fendi. Now, I know I'm dyslexic. I have a hard time sounding out these names. So I've heard of a designer named Fenty. Are you saying it's Fendi? Is that her last name? Her makeup line. Somebody says it's her makeup line. Okay. So it's associated with her name and other business she's involved in besides her singing career. As far as I can tell, these artists now are making their money almost exclusively from traveling and concerts. So they don't hardly get anything from the records anymore because people can download the music for free. Fenty. I wish I could hear it. I can get words when they're pronounced. Robin Rihanna Fenty. Okay, so from all that, I'm guessing that she has a makeup line called her, which is her last name. It's her company. There again, you can't assume, people. Because somebody's name is on something, you can't assume it's theirs. Look at Donald Trump. He's got these high-rise buildings all over the world, and then most of them he does not own them. He only leased them the name or sold them the name or let them use the name, and now they got his name on them, but they're not his buildings. They're selling because he has his name on them. So a lot of these endorsements and things like that don't mean that people own the companies. So we don't know about people's business. We know what they tell us. Greenie. That's my security dog. Chris is messy. Chris behind the throne. Chris is messy. Chris is the mother. How in the world are you sitting in the courtroom next to your side piece while your other side piece is on trial for murder while your husband is representing him? Oh my goodness. You are a follower, Lauren. Be quiet, boy. I slept on, I'm moving weird, people, because of my neck. I slept weird or something last night. Or maybe I left the window open. I don't know. The neck is hurting. Let me see. Thank you, Diva. You're smart. You know how to get this shit together. Pronounce Fenty. So now I know. She sounded it out. This is how it, never mind how it's spelled. Here's how it sounds. Fenty. Fenty. Okay. I ain't too proud to beg, honey. Always willing to learn. Fenty. Perfume. Oh, she has perfume as well? Okay. Hold on a minute. Fenty. We got Venti.
The first recipe is authentic traditional.
No, we asked for Fenty. Okay. Fin. Nope. It can't recognize my voice. Fin. I'm trying to use this lady, Cornata. Fin. T. I give up. I guess you got to have a white woman voice to talk to a white woman. Lord, now my damn camera that went bizarre on me. Oh, they're leading me to the internet. I guess I have to write that out. Anyway, we tried. Now, are all you girls know all about the Kardashians? I have never seen an episode of it. Are all of the women married to black guys? I mean, I'm not trying to be a racist or anything. I was married to a white guy, so it's not a thing to me. But I'm curious. It seems like every time I see one of the women, they're married to some football player or basketball player, or are they all married to black men? There's got to be one, because when I did peek in on the series one time to see what it was, there was a guy there who was somebody's husband. Okay, it's not even regular roast beef. Okay. Yeah, I got to go and look things up on Google. It's Google, G-O-O. I was so happy when I discovered writing programs. Like when I was writing my books, I wrote for 12 years, right? And I would write, I would do my pet hunt and peck because I don't know how to type. I'm not coordinated. And then I would put it in this program, and then the program would read back to me what I had written, right? So I'd write a page, and then it would read back, and I can get every single mistake that I made in there by hearing it. But I put the mistakes on there, see? So it freed me up a lot in order to actually complete books. All available on Amazon. Thank you. Excuse me. Y'all talking about food. Okay. Chris is the pimp in the whole thing. This is Darcia. Denise. Chris is the pimp in the whole thing. Without her pimping, there wouldn't be anything. Okay, so Chris is the brains. I guess that's the pimp. Chris is the brains behind everything, right? And apparently those two don't get along that well, which is not all that unusual. It's not unusual that in-laws don't get along with the, their in-laws and stuff. But it's been made public recently. He feels like she is running their lives or something. And he also feels like they were getting on a plane to come to their ranch, and I believe it's Wyoming, to put him away. He said Kim was coming, then he said Kim was traveling with doctors. So we don't know how much is in his mind. But what's wrong with traveling with doctors? Man, you got to recognize that you're sick. You got to recognize that, Kanye West. Coming out here trying to be alpha male, recognizing that you have limitations, disabilities. Do what you do best. If you are brilliant at music, then do music. A lot of people don't do all this public stuff. They don't do all this public interviews and getting you all in their lives and stuff like that. They do what they do, honey. If you're so great with music, shouldn't you be producing other artists? Or maybe you are doing that. But that's your strong suit. They can't mess with you. They can't touch you with that. So do what you do best. She turned rusty water into wine, honey. Weren't they one of the first ones to get on board with all of this reality show and stuff and these brands and all that? Before Andy Cohen. Rusty water into wine. I wouldn't mind to marry me a Kardashian. Go make me a career, honey. You got to hurry up. I'm in my 60s. I got to hurry it up. I got to hurry it up and get famous quick. Okay, not talking about Fendi. It's Fenty is what we've learned today. Ooh, wasn't Chris one of Heidi Fly's? Heidi, what's that last name? I know you're talking about that prostitute girl. One of those girls, the Beverly Hills Madam. Fleece, is that name Fleece Girls? Don't ask me, honey. I don't know. I was missing in action for damn near 20 years on dope. So I was not following any of these people. Ooh. Lauren says, I know they said she was a hoe for one of them big madam in Los Angeles back in the day. Well, that was the big madam. Heidi is the Fleece. They ended up charging her. She was running the hose all over the place. High end. Y'all ladies are something else, child. Y'all made that woman a hoe. And her mama the pimp. Okay. Ryan Seacrest is eating with them, not Andy. So Ryan Seacrest, he's another producer of reality TV. I just hear a few of these names. Mona Scott Young, is that the one that's doing this? Wait a minute. Isn't that girl? We're going to see what's going on with Tamar Braxton in a couple of days, I believe. Isn't her show premiering on the 30th on WeTV? My observation was that her show sounded a whole lot like what she went through last week with all this OD and rush to the hospital and I'm mad at the company, and the storyline seems to match. So we're going to see what's going on with Miss, what's the girl I just said? Tamar Braxton. Tamar Braxton. Now, my idea is if somebody is found unresponsive, that doesn't mean they try to commit suicide. We only know she tried to commit suicide. This is because of her boyfriend said that. Now, isn't he just following instructions as to what to say? We're hoping that this is not part of the show. We would lose even more credibility. Y'all say, oh, no, she's not capable of that. Think about Jussie Smollett, honey. Look at all the shit he done caused himself trying to get a few extra dollars. Now the show is gone. He's still riding that damn thing. Yeah, Heidi. Little skinny woman. I remember that story. That was her little black book. Apparently she was servicing all of Beverly Hills. Her father was Madonna's. What did I say? Okay, public relations is conference. Okay. Nikki says her father was Madonna's OBGYN when Madonna was pregnant. I heard. Oh, that's a different conversation. Y'all forgive me when I'm butted in your conversation. No, okay. So I understand that. I'm just saying that they were both producers of reality shows. So Andy Cohen, no, I know he's not over Kardashians. I mean, the Kardashians were in the same business as Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen came up with a lot of that reality TV, but there are other ones. Now, who is Mona Scott Young? Now, that's the black girl who is in the same business, producing reality shows. Then they got the other ones that are hip hop, Love and Hip Hop, and all this series. That's someone totally different, right? Is that Mona Scott Young? I just know that their father defended O.J. Simpson. That was my whole history with the Kardashians. The Braxtons signed a 10-year contract with We. Why would they agree to that? 10 years? Well, they said they have income and have a job for 10 years. But she's acting like she's all in this battle with We TV, yet she's starting a new series with her name on it. So why would she sabotage her own show? I mean, even if she didn't like the conditions, it seems to me that she would be working that out with attorneys, not with us. Why would she sabotage her show? So I don't buy it. They're all suspect, you know. They only know we only know what they tell us. So when she was found unresponsive, she didn't OD. I'm sure someone on the phone told that boy what he was supposed to say, or that man what he was supposed to say. And it seems an awful lot like what's going on that TV show. So if they try to put that in the TV show, that's a loser. Don't do that, honey. Don't put anything to do with this supposedly suicide attempt. Don't put that in the show. You're going to lose all credibility. Okay, yes, Mona Scott makes Love and Hip Hop. Okay. I haven't seen any of them. All I watched the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Georgia. I did that for about 3 years. And I really enjoyed it when I was watching it. After a while, it became kind of monotonous, but it's strange that I might be participating in a show, right? Since I've not been a fan of any of it. Oh, I did. I watched the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So in that period, I was watching some of that Andy Cohen stuff. Because I remember watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Georgia, and my favorite one was that one, the one with the Italian girls in New Jersey, Real Housewives of New Jersey, and they always hated that woman. What was that woman's name? Deanna, or started with a D. Now that was fun to watch because they all hated her so much. So I'm wrong. I did watch a little bit of reality TV. Some things we don't put in the same class, but I watch a whole lot of HGTV. That's considered reality TV as well. All tomfoolery. You can't. They put that word reality in there, so we don't know what the hell to believe, honey. We just pick from what they tell us. Hollywood. So, you know. I lived in Hollywood for 15 years. I loved it there, honey. I can only watch love and hip hop every once in a while. Yeah, I guess my biggest reason why I don't watch the shows is because I haven't been following them. I don't want to just jump in and all these people, they all know each other. They got all these relationships. So you almost have to go back to the beginning. When I watch one of these Netflix series, I always go to the first episode. I got to watch it from the beginning to know what exactly is going on. I need myself a new Netflix series. You guys know any good ones? The last one I watched was Ozark. That was great. Last one I watched all the way through. They got some good ones on there, but it's so much on there. Okay. Let me ask you a question. I know some of y'all have had this experience. When Amazon gives you this free trial for 30 days, I think it is, how do you do that? Are they going to just start charging you? They're going to charge you $140? Or do you need to back out of it earlier? I've watched a couple of the things on there, but I don't want to get trapped into where I'm paying them whatever their yearly fee for Amazon Prime, because I don't watch enough on there. I mean, so much stuff on Netflix and regular television and cable. I don't need another thing, right? And I don't order that much stuff off Amazon, so I don't want to get trapped in some contract. What do you think? Should I go in there trying to find out how to disable it? I couldn't see where you could unsubscribe from that. But I'm on one of these free trials. You know, nothing is free, honey. So I knew that going in. I said, let me go in and see what it's all about. But a lot of their movies, it seemed like they were made by Amazon. And the things that are on there, most of it is on Netflix as well. Anybody know how to get out of this 30-week trial, 30-day trial on Amazon Prime? That's what I'm looking for. Hi, The Voice. ASMR. Baby, what's wrong? Is it a burglar? I got it taken care of, Dad. Don't worry about it. Y'all see my baby? Hey, Squeenie. You say hello? Say hi. You talk all the time. What you want to talk to the peoples over there? No, Daddy. I got everything taken care of. Okay. He's a security dog. Did I already tell you guys about the Lhasa Apso? That's what Brady is. The Lhasa Apso in Tibet. Their job was, this is a security dog. This is what they call a watchdog. So this little dog, usually the Tibetan people, usually the monks, they would have the hair all the way down to the ground, right? So it's the same dog. Their job was to alert people of any strangers in the monasteries or the castles, right? So even though he couldn't kill a cockroach, he could bark if it was anybody who didn't belong there. And his job was to alert the lions. So the lions would be the ones that come and chew the visitors up, the unwanted guests up, right? But they're considered security dogs. So when he first meets people, he always growls at them, like he's going to try to bite them on the ankles. And then after that, he knows who they are, then they belong. Then he's all over them. He runs to them and stuff. Anyway, that's the history of the Lhasa Apso. Okay, so none of y'all know about this Amazon stuff. I'll figure it out. I think I should just go in there and find out where you said, no, I'm not interested. They trick you into that stuff. And then if you're not paying attention to your account, you're getting chunks of money taken out of your account. Thanks for hanging out with us, Uncle Tim. Oh, thank you, Justin Sanchez. Good to see you, brother. You've been around a long time. Thanks for the super chat. Okay. Baby, please be quiet. Just call them And they will call them. Oh no, I ain't calling no Amazon. No, it's one thing I hate is being on these damn phone calls with all these robo things. Call this number, push this number, push that, push this, push that, and you got to keep pushing. Okay, now wait. There should be something on the link where you can just say no, unsubscribe. Or maybe I should keep it. I don't know. I don't get that much from Amazon though. Not enough to justify paying $140. Damn, the delivery of what I'm gonna get is probably only going to wound up being $40. So why pay for all the extra stuff when I'm not going to use it? Plus, when you feel like you're going to sign up for it, now you're going to use it more. So you're spending more money that you don't need to spend. Oh, Amazon has a live chat. Okay. Thank you, Lockheed. Then that's useful. Okay, I'll go in there and do the live chat thing. But there has been instances when I have signed up for one of those things and forgot all about it and didn't realize it. And then I go to my bank account and say, what the hell? Where I spent $150 and be some shit I didn't sign up for. You know, or something that's constantly being taken out of your check, your bank account, and you've forgotten all about signing up for it. You got to check that every once in a while. Like right now, the damn YMCA, I ain't been in there in 6 months, but they've been getting their money every month. You know, I just say, well, maybe how much longer would this thing last? But I'm gonna end up paying them a year for services I didn't use. Yeah, that's what we have to trust. Hip to dad IP. Hip to dip. Hip to dip. Hip to the dip. Okay, hip to the dip. Hip to the dip. The hip hop, hippie, the hip hop. And don't stop. Sure shot. You go out to the parking lot and you get in your car and you drive real far and you drive all night till you see a light. And there he comes, the man from Mars. You go out at night, eating cars. You eat Cadillac, Subaru, Mustang and Subaru, and don't stop. Sure shot. Don't ask me why I thought of that. Hip to the dip. Yeah, so theoretically they're supposed to notify you within 5 days, or your account will be charged, and you can cancel then. But we have to depend on that 5 days, right? Because you, baby, hey, excuse me, people, I got to close the door. The security guard is getting on my nerves. You shut up. Ding dong dingy. You eat Cadillac, Lincoln 2, Mercury on Subaru, and you don't stop. Was that Blondie? I think that was Blondie singing to the man from Mars. Walmart will have their own starting in the fall, a little cheaper than Amazon. Well, Lockheed Boss Lady, we don't have Walmart in San Francisco. You got to drive a long ways. I believe the closest one is in Oakland. I don't drive, so I don't. When you go out in the suburbs, you find a lot of Walmarts, but they don't have any here in the city. There's a whole lot of series they don't have in the city, in San Francisco. I don't need Prime, really. Prime is good for, if you're going to use that for watching movies, I guess is okay. But you can find just as much stuff on Netflix and cable. But if I was buying stuff all the time off Amazon, I had 5 or 6 children, and I was buying a lot of stuff off Amazon, then it would be worth it just to save on the, because I just ordered, you guys see how my memory comes and goes, right? So they've been advertising this Prevagen for a while. I said, well, they're allowed to put it out there. So let me try this Prevagen to see if it helps the memory or mind function. I ordered that, and it was 2 days later. It seemed like 1 day later. Anyway, the damn thing was here. I'm used to waiting weeks, 1 or 2 weeks. So if you're ordering stuff like that off Amazon, it makes sense to have Amazon Prime. I guess people who read a lot of books, it would be useful. That man is brilliant, that Bezos. How many billion did he say he made in 1 day? Okay. Why the hell would someone post? They photo of themselves in a neck piece as a profile on Cupid. Oh, I don't know that story. Prime membership though. Okay, so L says I use the hell out of my Prime membership though. Movies, free 2-day shipping, cheap textbooks for class. Oh, okay, cheap textbooks for class will be a major thing for UL because textbooks cost a whole lot more than regular books. I pay my little. Oh, it's $6.99. $6.99. I thought they told me you got to pay like $150 for a year's membership. You had to pay it up front. I didn't know it was that cheap. Maybe I better look a little closer. Look a little closer and find out what that's all about. I didn't know it was anything like that. I thought I had a total different perception. One of my friends told me that they pay $100 and some a year. You are blocked. Why are you blocked? SQ. People tell me blocked. Every time somebody tell me they're blocked, though, I go in there. Well, why can I see you then, SQ? You couldn't be blocked. If you're blocked, I'm seeing your comments and you're seeing us interact, so you're not blocked. When I go in there, I only saw one person blocked on the whole damn channel. But I unblocked the person. He probably got blocked a year ago. I don't block people as a rule. And my moderators only block people if they're really acting up or they put them on timeout. So I don't understand that, SQ. If you're blocked, how can I see you? How can I see your comments even? I mean, what else could you do besides make a comment or listen? You're doing both things right now. I got checked out Walmart. Thanks, boss lady. I got it. Okay. Yeah, if Walmart is close, I ain't got to get some big box store. You can go in one place. I don't really like shopping all that much. I like shopping for like junk stores, stuff like that. I like that. I like going to furniture stores to help people out and stuff. That kind of shopping. But as far as shopping for clothes and stuff like that, I hate it. Because you got to try shit on. I got all this fucking fat. I got to try to. Anyway. So I don't have a lot of need for Walmart. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're wrong. You're not blocked. You can end Prime anytime. You can end Prime anytime. Okay, so when I sign off this, I'm gonna go and figure out what that is. No sense of being uncomfortable with it. I saw they do have movies, but most of them I've either seen, and a lot of them are not very high rated. They seem like they're almost like third-rate movies. Okay, Gamage Carter, that's the one that told me that he pays $150 or something a year. You know I have it. I do the reading, movies, music, clothes. Okay, so he uses Prime a lot for reading, for movies, see if you use all that stuff, then it definitely is worth it to you. Plus, they're giving you all your purchases in 2 days instead of sitting around waiting for it for 2 weeks. So that makes sense if you're going to really use it. I'm not really that much into music. I'm not into books. I'm not into, whatever. I guess I have low interest. Blondie was a cokehead back in the day. So was I. I probably would have liked her more. I use Prime for Amazon Fresh. See, you got food. You can get food delivered to your house. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with Amazon. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that how much will I personally use it. But hell, somebody was saying they pay $6.99 a month. That wouldn't be bad, even if it does add up to $150 a year. Maybe I gotta look at stuff, read it more. Yeah, don't get surprised when people in show business are use dope, honey. Don't be surprised. The regular price is $12.99 for Amazon Prime. Is that true? Is that what you pay, Gammons Carter? You're the one who told me that I don't get charged all that money. I don't know. Perhaps that's the amount if you add it up for a year. I don't know, maybe it's $6 or something like that. That's what you pay to watch one movie. So definitely be worth it to have all these electronic luxuries. I have a student discount. Well, $6.99, $12.99, that's still cheap. I mean, it's like Netflix, it's cheap. So it's worth it, you know. You believe Justin Sanchez says, I do believe Amazon is a bad thing. Why is it a bad thing? It's because it's a monopoly. You know, it's just a few years ago, Amazon was a book company, right? Now you got to admire a dude that can turn a company that sells books into all the stuff he's turned it into. I mean, he's actually affected retail in the United States of America. They're all competing with Amazon. I can admire brilliance. At some point he may come into some trouble with this monopoly thing, just like what's the dude's name? Come on, Prevagen. Anyway. Yeah, I saw Ray. Ray was great. Yeah, Jamie Foxx is a good actor. He's a great actor. Okay, so Gammons Carter, he's the one who told me I was going to get billed all this money. He says mine is billed yearly. I've had it that way before other options were available. Okay, so you have an option of how you want to pay them. We'll see. I'll go check it out. Either I'll cancel it or just keep it. Somehow $6.99 a month seems less painful than $150 at one time. But maybe they're the same thing. The best deal I'm getting right now is Netflix. I mean, what is it, $8.99 or something like that? $8.99 for a month, and you get all this stuff, this entertainment. So even though I don't make it all the way through a lot of stuff, I can have a lot of options. More so, I feel like, than I had even on cable. Yeah, they don't pay their workers enough to or take care of them, and they put better business out of business. Okay. So, as we know, most of these big companies, they have problems with people. Always want more money. So, you saying they don't pay their workers very much, or they don't pay them enough? That's why you need legislation with the legislated minimum wage. They should have to pay them more. You know. Well, that's why he's rich. But I don't know why any man would need, $15 billion in a year. How much money do you really need? How much profit do you really need? But now remember, when we say these people, they made he had some kind of outrageous day where he made way over $1 billion just in one day. But we have to understand, though, now that they're paying thousands of people out of that profit. Gross versus net. And keeping a lot of people employed, Fire stick. Yeah, I tried that. Somebody gave me a fire stick. But when I try to use my fire stick, and I guess it's basically the same thing as Prime, I discovered I had everything that they had on there on Netflix. So I don't know if we need all this different stuff. Remember when we were kids, we only had 4 channels. Everybody watched the same thing. We can all discuss the same shows, right? Same 5, maybe 10 shows will be on. Mostly, it would be comedies, sitcoms, or police shows. Now, 600 on this channel, 400 on that channel, Fire Stick, all this stuff, different stuff, all these options. We can stay entertained. Essence White, oh, that was a good deal. $30 a year. Well, all these big companies pay cheap wages. Honey, when they decided what they're going to pay them, they got to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of people that much. So that's why they try to stay so cheap. You probably do better off with a smaller company. But now they're all competing with them. You know, Walmart is not a big deal here, in the Bay Area, but I'm sure in certain parts of the country, I think they are the biggest employer in the United States. But retail has never paid anything. I worked retail for years. I started at Sears when I was maybe 17. But retail traditionally is always not paid very well. Now, their thing would not be retail, Amazon. It'd probably be more like stock, people filling orders, things like that. Okay. Oh, people, we're way over time. Well, thanks for coming in, people. It's a pleasure talking to you. I think I got some good information. Got to go fix my my Amazon account. Thanks for coming in, guys. Stay home as best you can. We don't have no all clear sign, not yet, no matter what Trump says. Later, people.